The role of gut microbiota in sleep and adolescent athlete injury prevention. I was asked by a leadership team member, Coach Heron, to present during her anatomy and physiology class at a local high school. The class consisted of 12 adolescents, both athletes and non athletes. The session consisted of face to face teaching with a PowerPoint presentation, the slides following, and the filmed version of the teaching presentation in the next slide. And I'm also including the handouts and the survey that was handed out in this narrated teaching artifact. Again, I said my name is Alicia Ducote, and first of all, thank y'all for just having me. This hopefully will not be a very long presentation. Hopefully it will be a little more interesting than just basic old anatomy and phys, which, by the way, one of my all-time favorite classes. So, does anybody in here play sports? Show of hands. 3, 4, 5. What do you play? Powerlifting. Fabulous. Dance. Volleyball. Love it. Powerlifting too. Softball. Awesome. Any athlete dropouts in the room? Like you played when you were little, but you're not playing in high school. Well, I mean, that's good. So anybody with a sibling that plays sports? Played or play? Okay. Siblings. Oh, I have notes too. All right. Any friends that are on a sports team? So somewhere in the connection, there's something to do with sports somewhere in your world. Okay, whether it's you or somebody else. So my research is on holistic injury prevention for adolescent athletes. And what it does is it's linking sleep, nutrition, and the gut microbiome. So, and that the instance of that on injuries and illness. Y'all studied like the stomach, intestines, digestive system yet? Y'all haven't got there? Sweet. That's going to be, y'all are going to have a little bit of a leg up. Okay, so this is going to be some interesting information for you guys. All right. So to understand the gut microbiome and to understand how it affects us, you have to look at the dimensions of wellness. So you may think of yourself as a one-dimensional person. Okay, like, I eat, I sleep, I do other basic physiological functions. Do you ever think of yourself in context of like your mental fitness, or your mental, your emotions, or your environment, or your occupation? Do you know that you have an occupation right now sitting in this room? Your student. Your student is your occupation. So when I was teaching this in my college class in Arkansas, I developed an acronym to remember the 7 dimensions of wellness, and that is PEESMO. PEESSMO. It's physical, emotional, environmental, social, spiritual, mental, and occupational. Your PEESMO. So think about it from this aspect. Say you get the flu. Okay, everybody had the flu in here? You've been sick. So when you're sick, physically, how do you feel? Bad, tired. It affects you, right? You're physical. You may run fever. Things may not, want to stay where they're supposed to stay. Okay, so what's next on your PEESMO? Your environment. So you're putting off a lot of germs, right? Your environment may not be safe for other people, or it may not even be safe for you, depending on how you feel. Okay, so what's next? Environmental, emotional. How do you feel emotionally when you're sick? Are you like really pleasant to be around when you're sick? I think it's kind of worse for guys. I don't know, sometimes not. But yeah, we're pretty emotionally like drained, feel terrible, maybe snappy, in a bad mood. So socially, think people want to be around you when you got the flu? No, you're walking germs. They don't want to be around you. Spiritually, you may either be really hating God or really like praying to Him, like to get me over this. Like something is going on. Like, all right. Then mentally, mentally, you can't think clear when you're sick, right? You may have fever. A lot of accidents happen. Just, your mental faculties are just not there when you're sick. And then occupationally, you can't go to school, right? Grades may fall. On the flip side, if you're a parent and you're sick, you may not be able to go to work that day. If you don't have good medical coverage, medical insurance, you may be missing out on money. So it affects you, right? And then that affects everything. You see how now that wellness wheel works together in all those 7 dimensions of wellness. All right. So the gut microbiome. So my research has led me to discover this term. It's called the gut brain muscle axis. So microbiota, in your gut, you have bacteria. You're kind of probably thinking, ew, right? Like, yeah. But you have both good bacteria and you have bad bacteria living in your intestinal tract all the time. Okay. And that bacteria is directly related to your overall health. So think about it like this. 80% of your immune system comes from your gut, comes from the good bacteria in your gut. Like we want that good bacteria. Your nutrient absorption happens due to those good bacteria. All those, your protein, your vitamins, your minerals, your carbs, all of that is synthesized in different levels, right, of your intestinal tract. You'll get there. But all those nutrients are absorbed due to the effects of those bacteria working with different enzymes, digestive enzymes, things like that. Also directly linked to your endocrine system. So think about all the things that your gut affects in your body. Your heart, your brain, your bones. You can't get calcium and you can't get all those nutrients to your muscles and to your bones. They're not growing right. Okay, your kidneys, your skin. I mean, who has a gluten allergy? Have you ever heard of like gluten affecting people's skin or different food allergies? It can affect your skin. So same kind of premise there. And your reproductive system actually affects your reproductive system. So these bacteria, pretty important that we want to keep those good ones like winning over the bad ones. So to understand how that gut microbiome affects athletes is you kind of have to look at this is called the movement pyramid or the fitness pyramid. You have your movement over here starts with just your good basic movements. You're walking, power walking, moves up the line to intensity. And up here you've got competitive sports up at the very top. Nutritionally, it kind of goes along with the old, you used to have the old diet, nutritional pyramid that's actually obsolete anymore because nobody needs that many carbs. But water is the big one right here. Water, not Gatorade, not energy drinks, water. Good old water is your biggest part of your day. And then fruits and vegetables, breads, carbs, pasta, rice, meat, goes up to desserts on the top. And then what is added down here, because this is an athlete's pyramid, and even if you're an academic athlete, your mental approach, sleep is on here. Taking care of your relationships, your social, part of that 7 dimensions of wellness, your social. Taking care of interests and hobbies. Some of you know that as self-care. Y'all heard that term, self-care? Yeah, that's a big term. And then staying like positive and motivated, and then managing stress. Okay, stress in and of itself, not a bad thing. All right. There's 3 levels of stress. If y'all studied eustress, distress, and stress, eustress is positive stress. It's like what we get, like exercise releases endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people don't shoot their husbands. Do y'all know that from Legally Blonde? Anybody? But that's called eustress. It gives you good, positive endorphins. Distress is that really bad stress, like you were in a car accident, or you're sick, or you have had 3 tournaments in a row, you are not sleeping enough at night, you're living on fast food, you feel like crap, and you play like the same way. Okay, that's all linked in there with stress. Basic stress, good. Without stress, we wouldn't be standing upright. We wouldn't be learning different things. Bridges would not hold tension over water. Okay? Stress has bad PR person. Stress not bad thing. Stress is good. It propels us forward. It's the distress that also affects us intestinally. Athletes who are in this never-ending cycle of not enough sleep, eating fast food, are, like showcases, tournaments, games, practices year round, travel sports, they're not getting a break. They're in this high stress environment all the time, is now being linked to these overuse injuries. Overuse injuries meaning like knees, ankles, shin splints, maybe even some hips, baseball pitchers, shoulder issues, even volleyball, serving, hitting, different repetitive motion over and over and over and over is not a good thing. Sports used to have seasons. There used to be an off season. So you went from volleyball season in the fall to track season in the spring. Then you may go back to like summer league, conditioning. And then you may have a recovery period, and then you may start that cycle over, which is a great, normal, healthy cycle. Well, now it's just volleyball year round, track year round, baseball year round, early specialization. It causes actually this it messes up your good bacteria and your bad bacteria. So you get more and more bad bacteria. So how do we translate the wellness wheel into holistic injury prevention? First of all, nutrition. Okay, whole foods. It really is important. There is numerous research studies. In fact, like I've actually Amberu, Wernick, Pohl, like Viola, like these are all authors, research scientists who have studied ultra processed foods, and the direct links to anxiety, to depression, and to the growth of the bad bacteria in our guts. Sometimes, you know what? Listen, we can't help it. Okay, we can't help it. We gotta eat some McDonald's, traveling. We gotta eat, some fast food. It's just our way. It's part of life. But if you're not offsetting that with really good, Eat the Rainbow is real. That's very real. Because that releases different polyphenols, different chemical compounds that work in your body to, especially if you're an athlete, build muscle. Like you need those whole foods to build muscle. With a 1% increase in ultra processed foods, you lose, I think, 5% of muscle mass. It's a pretty hardcore, like we need and we need enough food. A lot of, especially girls, and this happens with guys too, is we're not getting enough calories. We're not consuming enough food. Even if you're just academic and you're studying all the time and you're trying to make those straight A's, you need calories. There's a term, it's called low energy availability. When you don't have enough energy, and that's coming from your macronutrients, your carbs, your proteins, your fats, when you don't have enough of those calories coming in, then your body has to pull that energy from somewhere. It's going to pull it from your brain. It's going to pull it from your muscles because it's not going to burn fat because that's what keeps us alive. Okay, any kind of low energy availability, your body's going to burn fat. It's not going to burn muscle. You got to have enough of those calories. And with keeping in that low energy state, not getting enough calories, it actually will lead to what's called REDS, relative energy deficiency in sports. Years ago, it used to be called the female athlete triad, but they started noticing that more and more males were falling in this low energy category, or they were having disordered eating patterns or different things like that, so that they were now, they made it, the International Olympic Committee and ACSM has now made it now to where it encompasses athletes. All right. So sleep. Sleep's another factor. You know, you need 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. Your age, teenagers. How many people get 8? Show of hands, how many get 8 hours? You get 8 hours. That is amazing. Anybody under 8 hours? Who's about 5 hours a night? Anybody? Okay. When you don't get enough sleep, your short-term memory, so like the things that you learn in class, can't be actually moved over into long-term memory. That's what happens during sleep. Your growth hormones are released during sleep. So that is building muscle, building and repairing bones, built tissue repair, things like that. So sleep, very, very important. All right. Your physical wellness is literally, it really is tied to nutrition and hydration. You take 2 athletes who are identical in all their test scores. They're identical in their 40-yard dash, their what they can lift, and you give one a really good diet and one a really bad diet. That one, the one with the good diet, is going to run circles around the one with the bad diet. It really is fuel. It really is. It fuels your brain. It fuels your system. And then hydration, energy drinks. All those authors I listed before also are associating energy drinks with increased depression, increased anxiety, overall feelings of just bad mental effects. I mean, it's just, and those energy drinks, ultra processed foods, and even like medications. So you take antibiotics, alters your gut microbiome because antibiotics can't determine between good and bad bacteria, so it wipes everything out. So you got to really, I mean, we need antibiotics every once in a while, right? Like we get sick, we need them. So we have to be very proactive to get like our yogurt and kombucha and get things that are back in our system that are going to replenish that good bacteria because that's where it's going to keep us healthy. Illegal drugs alters the gut microbiome 100%. So what you put in your body really, really does matter. All right. Anybody have any questions over anything that I've said so far? Microphone. Here you go. You can pass it around.
All right. What if you get like too much of any of it?
Oh, great question. What if we get too much of something? Have you ever heard that old saying, too much of a good thing is a bad thing? For example, water. So you're out, you're hot, you're sweaty, you're working really, really hard, you're just drinking water, and you're not replacing the electrolytes, meaning like the salt, the sodium, the magnesium, the phosphorus, yeah. Then you can actually basically drown. So there's a term for it. It's oh gosh, I just drew a blank on the term. Not hypoglycemic. That's blood sugar. Hypokalemia, I believe. Is that, yeah? And yeah, so you can actually alter that. You know, you've got hydration status, and you can become more dehydrated drinking water. But that's only if it's like extreme heat conditions. So think football, August, full pads. So it can happen. So, all right. Stay up.
You're Eliza. Sorry.
Okay, so when most people have like the stomach virus, most parents will be like, "Oh, you need to get like electrolytes, like Powerade or stuff like that." Why isn't water just good enough to drink? Why is it like Powerade? Why does
Because you're losing everything. If you notice, like when you have a stomach virus, after all the food's gone, you're vomiting like bile and just liquids, and or out the other end too. All your liquids are coming out, so you're truly dehydrated. When you're truly dehydrated like that, you need all the things. You need the potassium, you need the magnesium, you need the salt. So yeah, Gatorade not the best thing to drink. I will tell you. When you look on the original recipe for Gatorade, anybody got ESPN? Eli Manning just went down to University of Florida on Eli's Places and did the original formulation for Gatorade. Really fascinating. And I knew this from many years ago. When Coca-Cola bought Gatorade, they changed the formulation entirely. It's only 4 ingredients. And I know the closest to the original, if you buy the powder and you make your Gatorade from the powder, it's the closest thing to the original Gatorade. But yeah, the bottle stuff that you buy now is kind of terrible, unfortunately. So yeah, use the powder and make your own. Or you can make your own. I was actually making watermelon electrolyte drink this summer, which was fabulous. The Pedialyte, some of your other like liquid IVs, just know what you're putting in your body. Know that it doesn't have like chemicals in it that aren't like natural. You want natural things in your body. So, all right. Anybody else?
So when like people who deal with like anxiety and depression, so if they start taking probiotics and eating healthy, it like cures it or does it just like help it?
It absolutely can help it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a doctor, a physician, so I'm not going to sit up here and diagnose anyone. However, yes, there's been plenty of studies that show just altering diet can help boost mood. It helps alter that. You can actually look up the gut brain axis. There's a lot of research on the gut brain axis and how our intestines affect our moods, our emotions. And there's a lot of links to energy drinks and ultra processed foods for increasing depression and anxiety symptoms. So, first line of defense, yes, change your diet. If your mood's not increasing, if you're still, got the blues or the blahs or anything, yeah, go see a professional. Go see a doctor, counselor, something like that, for sure. It may be more than just, there could be something in your blood. All right. Oh, Miss Heron has a question.
All right, so for people like me who don't like vegetables or fruits, don't tell anybody. Am I supposed to be taking a microbiome each year?
Absolutely. Supplements are essential when you're not getting it through your diet. Okay? And that's just across the board. There's even a
I
lot
take vitamins.
Okay, just a regular multivitamin.
Vitamin C, D, and my cranberry vitamins. So I don't get UTIs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those are all fabulous. Minerals. Minerals. And you can just do that through just a multi-mineral. A lot of so I'm a market gardener too. I grow food. A lot of our soil from our conventional farmers is the soil is just devoid in those microbes. Like you want bacteria in your dirt too, because it puts good minerals in your fruits and vegetables. So actually, the USDA a long time ago actually recommend taking a multi-mineral, even if you're eating fruits and vegetables, because that's where your minerals come from. The soil and things like that. But yeah, good salt, pink Himalayan or sea salt. I put it in my water. I'll make up my own little water mixture. I squeeze lemon and put a pinch of salt in it. And that's Gatorade right there. I mean, really and truly, you don't have to spend money on it. Put some pink Himalayan salt. All right. Anybody else? All right. Got one back there. Pass the mic.
So like, kind of like what Miss Heron said, where people who don't like to eat fruits and vegetables, like me, I get sick a lot, but I'll take vitamin C pills, but like I don't take anything else. Does that help that too? Like,
So C, and again, not diagnosing, but a good you need the three. You need C, you need zinc, and you need three. Vitamin D3. Because that
So that would
has
help.
been linked to antiviral. There's studies for, studies against on everything. However, I was kind of in your same boat, and I ate a lot of fruits. I was a vegetarian for years, and I could not get through the winter without my D3
Mm-mm.
and zinc and C. But you can also there's really good smoothie mixes now, like protein drinks that have all of those essential vitamins and minerals in them. I mean, you can even supplement with a shake instead of just like popping a pill. Like the more
Yeah.
nutrition you can truly get down your system is really the best.
So going back to sleep, I know some people take melatonin, and I've heard that's not good for you, but
Actually, there's been some studies with athletes that after, especially like a high competition game, and this was in a soccer. A soccer team did this, and who was the other athlete? I know there was some studies out of Great Britain using soccer players that found that 8 milligrams of melatonin after strenuous exercise, especially like games or competitions, actually helped the athlete recover better during rest. So yeah, studies show melatonin.
I never knew that. I thought it was bad for you.
No, I think there's look for like the good, like any supplements you ever take. They need to be third party tested. They need to be reputable. Don't go buy them at Walmart. Okay, go to a health food store. Go to people who are knowledgeable, and be sure that you're getting really good supplements. Okay, don't rely on something that is not tested, especially if you're an athlete. If you're an athlete, it has, especially if you're wanting to go even next level, it's got to be third party tested for sports, which means that it's clean, it's been tested. And honestly, I mean, I don't compete, but I will only take supplements that are third party tested because I know they've been scrutinized. So, first of all, big, huge thank you to you guys. Thank you, Ms. Heron, for letting me come in and teach. Hopefully, it'll tie into some things that you're doing in the future.